Film club.
Who recommended this?
Michael, to be fair. Unless his sister's fella. He said, "Oh yeah, you're watching that Miller's Crossing. It's supposed to be decent, that." Because I heard it was a bit like Road to Perdition.
Thank you very much for joining us on episode of Film Club. I'm one of your hosts, Andy Harrison. To my right, as always, it's the man on the road to Perdition, Andy Dalton. Every single week in Film Club, we invite you along to watch a film with us. We dive into some of cinema's best before coming back here to talk it out. Andy, this week, Road to Perdition.
Road to Perdition by Sam Mendese, the same bloke who did American Beauty, for those who don't know.
Skyfall.
He did, and he also did Spectre. So, Road to Perdition, it follows Tom Hanks in one of his more serious roles. Tom Hanks, who is a family man.
He is a family.
He's a family. He's a father, and he's also an enforcer for a mob boss, yeah?
Yep, I agree.
Cool. And basically, so he at the start of the film is he's just doing jobs here and there. Turns out his kid sees something he shouldn't have seen something. His kid gets targeted. His family get killed, and then it's a road to vengeance as well as a road to fatherhood.
And a road to Perdition.
Oh yeah.
What do you think?
It's been a while since I watched this. I actually bought this from my father a while back.
Oh, so you've seen this before?
Years ago. It was one of those I saw years ago and kind of forgot how it went out.
Okay.
But I also knew how it went out because I remember the end scene and stuff. So, I enjoyed it. It's not one of the best gangster films out there. I remember reading on a packet said, what did it say? It said something like, "Oh, the best gangster film since The Godfather," or something. I was like, Goodfellas. It's nice. It's it's relaxing. It's like kind of dark. It's slow. It's just one of those kind of. It's one of those like just slow moving, slow pace, but like kind of films. It almost like Boardwalk Empire, but without the style. And I don't mean that without the style like visually, but without the kind of like flamboyant style that Boardwalk Empire has. I would say it's above average. It's not one of the best films out there, but it's definitely not one of the worst. I enjoyed it. How about you?
I nothing this film. This film, right, has great ingredients. Tom Hanks is a stunning actor, and he's doing a great performance. The cinematography is beautiful. Got that sort of like, we're talking last week a little bit about neo-noir photography. Really well implemented here. It's got a good soundtrack. Like
yes,
the music's
fantastic.
really nice. The kid does a good performance. Conceptually, really good. Like I think the idea of a father trying to protect his son from this mob that he used to work for, while also hunting down the people who accidentally killed like his family. It's kind of like
not accidentally.
It's like classic in its structure, sort of thing. That's really cool. Sam Mendes has done some good films in the past, and after this, we'll go on and do other good films. And I just don't care about it.
Okay, I can understand why you do. It's not something to like. We got a recommendation from Michael, who you don't know. It was at Miller's Crossing. So it's a bit like that. It'd be interesting to see how it is. I think it's good, but it's not something to shout out about like Goodfellas. It's not got this like kind of. Well, even though it's Sam Mendes, it's not got this kind of Scorsese kind of like flamboyance element to it that crime films have. It's not got stuff like Scarface and all this. You look at the gangster films out there. I would say this is a different kind of thing. It's more of a serious gangster film.
It is, but the thing is, serious gangster films can have a huge impact. There's moments in Miller's Crossing that are very serious, and I think they're the best moments in the film. There's stuff in Once Upon a Time in America that's immensely serious, and it's stunning. There's like serious does not innately create something that is less impactful. In fact, if anything, a serious nature can elevate something. That's why you get The Godfather. Haven't seen it yet still, but we'll get to that. But I think the thing that stops me from loving this film is that a lot of the technique is good, but it is not as thoughtful as it could be in its implementation. Mm-hmm. So, for example, soundtrack is great. It's a great soundtrack, good music.
It's Thomas Newman, by the way, for those who don't know.
But it's a bit relentless.
Okay.
Like, there's a lot of the film that has soundtrack over the top of it.
What, you reckon it could like just hold it back a bit?
Yeah.
Apply more silence to it?
I think if you... Do you remember a few weeks ago, back in Halloween, we did The Exorcist?
Yes.
In which...
Yes. That amazing soundtrack was only used sparingly.
Yes. The film was practically devoid of music, with the exception
of
these moments.
As well. Yeah.
That's because there's confidence behind the filmmaking technique. Whereas here, I think he's got such good mixture of ingredients, but I feel like the director, Sam Mendes in this case, is lacking confidence in those ingredients.
Okay.
And maybe it needed another pass in the edit. Maybe that's what we're missing here. It's just something to tighten it all up, remove the unnecessary elements and refine it. because everything is great. I want to really actually re-emphasize this point because Tom Hanks is fantastic in this in a very subdued way. He's doing Tom Hanks, and we did not too long ago Castaway, and like Tom Hanks sometimes. I think he's innately charming. Yeah, Tom Hanks is innately quite a likable dude.
You don't really have that as much in this, do you?
You don't have it that much, and I think he really reined that in to his credit.
Yeah,
because he's not meant to be that likable of a guy.
We actually mentioned this before, not necessarily that he's not supposed to be likable, but it was a very reined-in performance. We did Dead Poets Society with Robin Williams.
Robin Williams, yeah,
and like it was kind of like a very subdued role with that. I mean, obviously got the gangster vibes to it and all this, but I like the fact that he's a father and he's starting to learn more about his child. Ironically, after the death of his other child, they have that scene like, oh, I thought you'd like him more, no, I see more myself in you. He's got to try and stop and be himself. And they have that wonderful end moment where the kid's there with the gun, I can't do it, and his dad does it, and it's like the kid hasn't fallen down to. So actually, I was with my girlfriend. She goes, "Oh, what does perdition mean? Like, what the road down? It's like inner turmoil and like hell and all this kind of stuff. There's like many different terms. It's like the road down that path of vengeance and stuff that his father takes. And his father doesn't want his kid, whose mother and brother have died, to take this path. So I love that end scene where it's just kind of like, you're not there yet, kid. You don't have that kind of like that horribleness to kind of live with and everything. Also, another thing to point out, which to be fair, like looking back, I can see it now, but I didn't see it at the time. It was only after I read it after. Was the use of water in this film to signify death. Specifically the rain scene where the carny ends up killing his surrogate father, and then that amazing moment shot at the end. You're on about the cinematography. What a fucking shot! Where he's looking out the scene, he thinks everything's sound, and obviously he gets shot in the back. That he does by a very poorly looking Jude Law. Obviously Daniel Craig's in this film as well.
Yeah.
Which is a very interesting performance by Daniel Craig. But yeah, it's just the use of water as a symbol. It's not like a massive like kind of use of symbolism out there that other films may have. But I enjoyed it. Looking back, I was thinking that rain scene looked amazing. It was awesome. It was very real about the mood with Rashomon, how the rain like signified that kind of mood. Similar to that, we all knew there's a deep element because we saw Tom Hanks and he was killing everyone, left his surrogate father. And at the end, there's like obviously going to be a bittersweet ending. He's killed everyone. He's killed, including his surrogate father, and all the way to help his child. And then obviously it ends like that. I don't know. I thought it was quite cool. Interesting. Sam Mendes.
I think there's a tonal difference right here. Sometimes when we have a film in film club that is absolutely awesome, you and I come in here at like this energy level, and we're like, it is awesome. This is cool. Like it's so much fun watching it. I think there's a cap on this film's enjoyability. Enjoyment. There's a cap on it, and you're right. Like I can't argue against it. The film is good. It's missing a soul to it. It's missing a spark, and like that, it's a really difficult thing to quantify sometimes. But certain films have it, and for me, like Goodfellas had it, and Once Upon a Time in America has it, and those are the gangster films that have it. This has such good ingredients, but doesn't have the spark.
Interesting. I like it.
But anyway, there is Road to Perdition. You can let us know in the comments below what you thought of Road to Perdition. Hopefully, we're going to have some more positive comments down there because there's tons that's good to say about it. But Andy and I are going to be back once again next week, where Andy, we're going to get festive.
He's finally watching it.
Because it's time for Love Actually. Until then, get watching.